Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Unapologetically Badass. I am your host, Renee Fleming, and I am so thrilled to have back once again the amazing Melissa Bassano. I am so thrilled. She's got so much going on. Wait till you hear. Hi, honey. How are you?
Hi. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here. And it's so funny because with you having you on my podcast
Yeah.
and doing the intro, it's weird having somebody intro you,
Isn't it?
like having somebody intro me. It's awesome. Thank
Doesn't it feel good? Yeah.
you. It
It's like,
does.
this
Thank you.
is the fantastic, fabulous. And you're like,
New and improved.
yeah. New and improved with a shorter hairstyle. I love it. I think it looks fantastic.
Thank you. It's probably been 2.5 weeks and I am finally getting used to it. It's probably grew a little bit too, but yeah, it's very different for me.
I love it. I love it. So we wanted to have you back on because you are continuing. I'm so happy for you because let me just say this. I fucking love you. And I think you are such an incredibly strong, confident woman who inspires so many. You've gone through so many things in your life and so many pivots and turns. And now you are evolving into another version of yourself. And I'm so excited for everyone to hear what you have going on. So, why don't
Well,
you tell them what's going on and then we can talk about how you got there?
okay. Well, let me first say I fucking love you back. You're like the best. I'm always trying to pivot and do things that are exciting. And I feel like, after everything that I've been through, and now I feel like I'm on the other side of it and I don't have that fear anymore. I've had cancer and I feel like, you know what? Just do it. Just do if it's exciting, just do it. So that's really what I've been doing. And I wrote a book called The Healing Equation that will come out. Hopefully it'll be in done editing and come out in December. And then in January, what I'm really excited about is the podcast. So of course, Renee is on my initial episodes of The Healing Equation. We had to have her because she's amazing and has overcome so much. And I'm just doing all these amazing things with technology that I could not have ever done without you.
Oh, thank you. But I love sharing everything that I've learned. But I will say that you not only have you learned and implemented, you're like on fire when it comes to technology. And we're not, 25 years old that we've grown up with technology. We're in our 50s. So we're continuing to evolve. And you and I had a conversation last week when we were talking about being curious.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't that what it's really all about? Like, we're curious going, how do we do XYZ? And that's what keeps us young and youthful and fun, right?
Yes, I have always been curious about a lot of different things, and technology was always just super scary.
Yeah.
And ChatGPT changed my life. You changed my life
Oh,
because I took your course and it changed my life. Like, if you're thinking about getting a coach and you want to turn things around,
aw,
Renee is that person because she literally has changed my life.
thank
I
you.
mean, I hated technology and I was afraid to do things because I didn't know how to do them. And your mantra, your motto is everything is figure outable, right?
Yeah.
And I use that all the time now. I can figure it out. Now that I know how to use ChatGPT really well, I feel like I can do anything because I'll just ask Harold. I've named him Harold and my husband's like he gave him the name. So, I drop everything into Harold, and Harold and I figure it out. And you gave me some information on how to create some other things, maybe other streams of income, or just fun things like creating a theme song for my podcast. And I mean, was it work? Absolutely. But you know what? So worth it because it was so exciting. And I've just kind of been flying off the handle with all kinds of things.
I love that. But and that's the thing is once you train your GPT, that is your new BFF. That is your
It really is.
assistant. That is your life coach. Like it becomes so much, but you have to learn. It's only as good
True.
as what the information that you feed it. And it really is important to train it. But it is so exciting that once you just make the decision to build your personal brand, and that's what you've done, and building your brand, and you're like, okay, I get to do this. Oh, now why not go and do this? And why not go do this? You and I, we spoke a lot about that fear, right? You were fearful of technology, didn't know how to do it, and you were like, okay, I need to invest and learn how to do this. And once you did that, great. Have you had any fear or blocks that you're like, "Ooh, should I really do that? Like, what are people gonna think if I
Oh gosh, yeah.
transition to this?" And
Mhm.
yeah.
Posting videos. You have encouraged me to just post videos, right? I love social media, but I'm always feeling like, oh, I'm not going to post every day. What are people going to say? Or, how are people going to feel? Oh, she's posting again. Here's her face again. But you can't worry about that stuff if you're building a brand for yourself. And you've actually been able to get me out of that worrying about what other people think. Because we grew up in a time where in the 80s and the 90s, it was our parents were like, what are people going to think? And
Mhm.
so we're in that. That's in our head. It's ingrained in our head. What are people going to think? And you can't really worry about what everybody else thinks when you're building something because you have to take those steps. So I have been able to feel more confident just posting on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, because you know how important it is. You've got to make sure that you are visible. And it's something that I tell my executive clients still too. You've got to be visible. And if you're not visible, nobody knows you're there. So I've been doing a lot more of that. And unapologetically,
I love it.
I have been doing more of that and feeling good about it.
I love that. And that's the thing is, showing up unapologetically because we show up authentically. We're leading with our heart. We know that we're passionate about our purpose, right? And that's when it really connects with other people. If we're showing up just to sell shit, then people are like, go away. But I don't think you and I, knowing you and knowing your heart, you couldn't show up if you didn't truly feel that this was
Right.
your purpose and mission,
Agreed.
right?
Agreed.
And so you've gone through a lot. So now you've created this healing equation podcast. You've created this healing equation book that I can't wait to read. Um, how did you get there?
So, in the beginning, when I was diagnosed with cancer, I didn't want to be that person that made cancer their whole personality. But sometimes it's hard not to do that, because so you have two choices. You can make cancer your whole personality in one of two ways. You can be a victim
Mhm.
and I have cancer and you're always, you're always fighting it, whether you still have it or you're a survivor, you still are in that place. And you can put yourself in the, oh, this is the deck that I was dealt. And, what am I going to do? Poor me. And you can be on the other side of it of, I can make cancer my whole personality because I'm going to beat it. I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to learn everything that I can and it's going to keep me healthy, right? And every survivor always has in the back of their mind, is it going to come back?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, am I going to have a reoccurrence? And I just had this conversation with my doctor yesterday actually. And I begged her to be on the podcast and um she's not a super extrovert. She's very introverted. She prefers more of the research piece of it, but
Mhm.
she's an amazing doctor because the words she uses are so important. And this is where I think doctors can learn. Because of her, it really helped me be on the opposite side of making it my personality of I'm going to beat this. This is no way this is going to ruin my entire life, right? Cuz she uses words like when I found out I was cancer free, she doesn't use remission. She doesn't use the word remission because it makes people think, okay, we're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. When is it going to come back?
Right.
She uses the word cured. Melissa,
Mm.
it's been almost 6 years. You're cured.
Yeah.
I said, and I love that you use that word. Now, I have at this point, because of how healthy I am and all the things that I've done to stay healthy, my chances are just as much as anybody else on the street of getting cancer again. It could be, 3%, 5%, whatever it is, everybody has a chance that cancer can hit them,
Right.
right? It depends
Right.
on your lifestyle, all of that. So, because of that, she uses that language, you're cured. And she said, I'm always hesitant. She goes, I know I can use that with you because of your state of mind, but
Yeah.
I can't use that with everybody because they'll come back and say, "Oh, well, you said I was cured," you might have a reoccurrence. But you have to just keep in mind anybody can get cancer and
Yes.
anybody can get cancer back. But if you constantly think about it 24/7, and it is okay to have fear. We all have fear, especially, if you've had cancer before, you have that fear, but
Right.
you can't let that fear be overwhelming and overtake your entire life. And that's really where the book came in,
Okay.
because I wanted to write the book not about just my journey in cancer,
Mhm.
but all the steps that I took to overcome it and the advice for other people if you're fighting or you want to stay. And it's not even just about cancer, it's about every illness,
Mhm.
every problem, every situation. There's a way for you to overcome it. And that's really what this book is about. There's a lot of nutrition in there. There's a lot of mindset, gratitude. There's so many ways for you to overcome pretty much anything. And
Yeah.
my husband's in the mental health space. He has 6 mental health clinics in Massachusetts.
Mhm.
And when I talk to some of his clinicians, we talk about mindset. And if I had a degree in, mental health counseling or whatever, I would be working there because it's literally
Yeah.
the same thing. It's your mindset. It's Henry Ford. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Yeah. Yep. That is so powerful. Mindset, that's for all aspects of our lives,
Yeah,
all
absolutely.
aspects. And when I recognize that changing that mindset and the limiting beliefs and the woe is me, like, because we can all go down that path. And a lot of people sadly get stuck in that
They
path.
do. Mhm.
And then they wonder why they can't get out. And, I used to think mindset, oh, that's foo-foo. That's woo. Those are those crazy people, right? Until I actually learned tools and strategies that not only have I implemented, but teach and train. And like we scream it. It is it is so powerful. It is so powerful. One of the things that I know that you did when you talk about gratitude, you want to share that? Because even in the worst parts of your cancer, and tell them what type of cancer you had, but
Mhm.
the level of gratitude you had every morning is incredible.
Every day I was turned on to Dr. Joe Dispenza. If you don't know who he is, look him up. Um, I was always grateful for the people that the universe, God brought into my life during that time because they all gave me something that was going to help me.
Mhm.
And one of my executive coaching clients, her name is Dr. Chris Beck. She's going to be on my podcast
Oh,
actually.
good.
And she became a client for a reason because she was there to guide me in my journey. I mean, she was very instrumental. So every day, I would say every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. And I'm grateful I mean, if I did not have cancer, I don't think I would have the life that I have right now. And, I know I'm going to get a lot of, criticism for this, but things always happen in your life for a reason. And I truly believe that cancer came into my life for a particular reason, whether that was to get me off my ass and say, Melissa, you got to live your life. You can't be afraid of things. You can't, think things are going to happen. You really have to implement what you teach mindset wise. And if you don't, it's going to get the best of you. So I am grateful every single day. And every single day when I was going through chemo, I would have a gratitude meditation. And I really feel like that's helped get me through, because you have to be grateful for your body. Your
Yeah.
body's flipping amazing. Your body, not, it can kill you, but it can cure you at the same time. And you have to be grateful because it is amazing.
Yes, I love that. I love being grateful for the shit that we've gone through.
Mhm.
That is really the whole point. And I have the book sharing the shit that's going on in my life. And, a lot of people, and again, just like you, we didn't write the book because we're like, oh, look at us and look at what we went through. It's
Right.
if one woman reads our story and our journey and can see themselves in it or receive a message that they were meant to learn, then it's wonderful. It's purposeful. And
Mhm.
because of all the crap that and I say crap, I mean, we all have our hardships,
Of
right?
course.
But we've discovered how do we overcome that, and how do we show appreciation and knowledge that we were put through that for a purpose.
Mhm.
And now we're sitting in the space where we know, oh, we recognize we were meant to go through that, because this is where I'm meant to go from here.
Mhm.
And that's why we show up online. That's why we're
Absolutely.
posting. It's
Yeah.
we know we're on a mission, we're on a path.
It's interesting because, on TikTok, they always have these funny things that you can do. Oh, or people will ask you questions, provoking things like, if you could go back to any period of your life and change one thing, what would it be? And I thought really hard about it. I'm like, I wouldn't change anything. I
Yeah,
wouldn't change all the struggles and the shit that I went through, because where I am right now is the best ever. Like, I have an amazing husband. My kids are doing amazing things. I love our life. And I would not have that had I changed anything in my past.
right, right.
All the horrible, when you're in the dating pool after your divorce is not
Ugh,
fun
ugh.
at all. And
Can
I
we
have
like the frogs, that the toads,
oh,
like,
I
what was I
almost I
thinking?
back before podcasts were popular, I almost wanted to write a blog that was comedic,
Yeah.
because I would get together with my girlfriends and I was the source of entertainment because of how many horrible, horrible dates that I had been on.
Yeah,
Now, was I a totally healed person back then?
right.
No.
Mhm.
So of course, you're going to attract who
Absolutely.
you are, right? But it was comedic. And I
Yeah,
wouldn't change that because it was a source of fun
right,
for my girlfriends and I. We
right.
would go out to dinner and we would laugh our asses off.
Yep.
And I wouldn't change any of that because it makes you who you are.
Yeah,
It really
same,
does.
same. We had to go through that,
Mhm.
as painful, as funny, and whatever, but yeah, I wasn't healed. I started dating. I wasn't healed, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But, we can see that now, but going through it, we thought, "Oh, no, we're fine. We're fine."
Oh, yeah. And I coach a lot of women who have gone through divorce and they feel like, oh, well, I've been ready to date for a long time. And I'm like,
Mhm, mhm.
okay. All right. Well, we'll talk about this in a year.
Yep. Give it a few years, and then you go back going, "What the
Yeah.
fuck was I
Right. What was
thinking?"
I thinking? Why would I put up with that shit? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
So yeah, I just the book is also for people who like they mourn their old self pre-cancer,
yeah,
right? I mourn for that person. And I look at myself pre-cancer and I don't mourn for that person, although she was awesome. I was actually at that time I thought was in the best shape of my life, and
Yeah.
I had a trainer and I was doing all these things. But I don't mourn for her because I love my life now.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I'm so grateful for the other side of it. Had I not gone through that, I wouldn't have experienced how amazing my husband was. You know, I mean, he truly, I talk about this. I'll tell a little bit of the story out. He was my rock. He was unbelievable. He needed to be there. Like, God waited until he was in my life before cancer happened because he was amazing.
Wow. That
And
gives me chills, right?
truly,
Oh,
because and his mom, you know, was COVID. So she wasn't working. And we would go to her every Friday night. We'd go to her house. She'd cook us dinner. We just was a sense of normalcy, you know. She'd cook us dinner and we'd play dominoes, and that was our thing,
yeah.
right? And to this day, it's still our thing. You know,
Oh,
we'll on a Friday night we'll order pizza or whatever and play dominoes. And you know, my mom was, you know, she was an hour and a half away, and she was taking care of my dad, and you know, it was just she couldn't do that.
right.
So my
Right.
mother-in-law was, you know, maybe 25 minutes away from us at the
Mhm.
time, and you know it was really special to have being taken care of. And both of my kids were, my son was is in the Air Force, so he was stationed in, I think it was New Mexico at the time,
Wow.
you know, so they were like, oh, I can't be there, and it was COVID. My other one was 2 hours away, so I was very, very lucky to have my husband and my mother-in-law.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And look at you. You're cured. I love the verbiage that your physician uses. I think
I
that's
love her.
beautiful. Yeah, I
And
think that's beautiful.
I also had, which my original oncologist, she believes it was from radiation because, you know, what cures you can also kill you.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
I ended up with cancer in my neck. So, and like not a year later, I found a lump in my neck and I was like, "Oh my God, WTF? Like, is this ever going to end?" Right.
Yeah.
And it ended up being something that I didn't need to go through chemo again and do all that stuff. They just removed it, and I've been fine since. And so my neck doctor also says the same thing. He's like, Melissa, just go live your life. You're cured. You're amazing. Just go and live your life. And they both say the same thing, that when I go in, I always have this groundedness of, I know I'm fine.
Mhm.
And a lot of patients, when you go in with that worry, and it's understandable, I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's fear. Like the first 2 years, it's like this chronic fear, you know,
Right.
but you have to learn to be able to work through it. It's always going to be there, but you have to be able to not let it control you.
How? Like, what kind of tips would you give someone?
It's a lot of meditation.
Yeah.
Right? It is a lot of meditation. It's reassuring yourself that you know your body's amazing. You know, if you're doing all the things, if you're not doing all the things, if you're still eating McDonald's and processed foods and all the crap and you're drinking tons of alcohol, then your body, you're not treating your body the way it should. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. I
Yeah.
mean, it's 80-20 in this household. 80% of the time we're good.
Yeah.
20% of the time, am I gonna indulge in, you know, pizza or
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A? I had my first Chick-fil-A not that long ago because I just looked so good. I was
Yeah.
actually disappointed.
Were you?
I was
Oh,
disappointed, and I don't know if it's because I just don't eat that kind of food.
yeah.
So
There's another I haven't had that in a while. I do like it every once a we rarely like, that's a once in a lifetime not once in a lifetime, but that's a rarely. There's a newer chicken place, fast food, and now I can't think of it.
there's one called Raising Cane's.
That's it.
We had when
Oh,
we went to visit Aiden out in, Colorado Springs, and it was pretty
it's so good.
good. It was
I
pretty good.
So Tony was like, "You wanna try this?" And I'm like, he'll eat like a child, like a toddler. That's his menu of choice, okay? And me, I'm not the fast food. I'm a once in a blue moon do that, right? Doesn't work for my body. But I was like, all right. He was so excited about it. So I went in there like with my fucking attitude, like, all right, well, yeah, okay, get chicken, whatever, you know. I devoured. I could not believe how yummy it is. Could
Yeah.
not believe it.
You know what gets me is all the mukbangers on TikTok. I feel like I must have
Anger.
disor oh my god, I must have some sort of disordered eating in my lifetime. I know I do, because a mukbanger is somebody who literally sits in front of the camera and they have, like, this big burger and they're like, and they
Oh,
chew into, and for some reason, I am fascinated.
so many people are. I get skeeved out,
Fascinated.
but they're fucking viral, and I'm like, I
Oh my
couldn't do
gosh,
that.
and
They're
they're
like,
just, like,
bleh.
eating Raising Cane's.
Quick crown check, queen. If you're vibing with this episode, you're exactly the type of badass I built my empire for. Whether you're building your fuck it fund, launching your brand, craving a midlife reinvention, or just want to look and feel like a million freaking bucks, I've got you. From merch that speaks your truth to digital tools, coaching, and yes, even collagen that slaps. I serve the sass, the strategy, and the sparkle to help women over 40 take up space and cash checks doing what they love. Head on over to reneecarbonefleming.com or tap the link in the show notes. Pick your flavor of badass and let's turn your midlife into your power era.
In their burgers. This one girl, she does Duke's burgers. I've never heard of them before.
Mm.
And some of them, I mean, I literally am obsessed. And so sometimes I'll be like, "Oh my god, that's so good." But then I'm like, "Oh, I can't eat that.
Yeah.
That's terrible for your body. You can't eat." So once in a while we do indulge in stuff
Yeah,
like that.
absolutely.
Yeah,
You know what? We have one life. We're gonna
I'm gonna live it.
live. Yes, we're gonna live. I'm not gonna like have the regrets, but it's a matter of, like you said, 80-20. It's like try to do good most of the time and
Mhm.
then spoil yourself. I mean, the one thing
Right.
I don't give up is my Cabernet.
I know. I'm not, that's the funny thing about I was never a really big drinker. I just didn't really like the taste of
Even
it.
wine?
I'll have an occasional glass of wine.
Yeah.
I can't drink as a postmenopausal woman. I can't drink Cabernet or red wine anymore. Forget it. I'll be sick as a dog.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. But I'll have, I like my Sauvignon Blanc once in a while.
yep. Oh, no,
Like Timmy Crawford.
I've had years of experience. I think years postmenopausal, it's like it just expects it. Like I'll go if I need to take blood. It's like, oh, they go, oh, it's Cabernet. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's really what I bleed. So,
Yeah. So
um,
that was easy to cut out. My husband, he doesn't drink either, but we always say 80-20. And right now, because it's the holidays, he's like 80-20 in the other direction. Like
okay.
20% of the good
Yeah.
and 80% is crap. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but holidays can't, you got to expect it.
Yeah. But you know what? We have our melt, so we can just melt the rest of
That's
the sugar
right.
away.
Oh my
So,
gosh. Took my melts today. So Renee kind of got me hooked on Bella Grace, and I use the Korean skincare.
yeah. Did you love it?
Oh my gosh, it's
Right?
amazing.
I'm like, why the hell was I spending so much money at the spas? No offense to the spas, but
Right. And that's what I was using, because when I was in Florida, I went to this amazing spa and I bought all this stuff and my skin
yeah,
was looking better.
beautiful. Yeah.
The Korean skincare, my neighbor told me about Korean skincare, and then you told me that Bella Grace was Korean skincare, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, it's amazing."
Yep.
Took
Yep.
my melts, so, I don't let the holidays get the best of me,
Mhm.
and the nice thing about these products is, she talks about health and wellness, and then she takes all this, it's all healthy stuff.
Right. Right.
That's what I love
Yeah.
is they're all natural ingredients,
Yep.
and, I'm one of those people's afraid to inject anything,
Yeah.
but it has to have natural ingredients,
Yeah.
and that's what I loved about Bella Grace that you introduced me to.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. And that's the thing is so many people like don't know about it and they continue to believe the misconception of what they see either on social media or
Mhm,
TV that those products are great. It's like you have to do the research, right? And
mhm.
so I did the research, you did the research, and then we were like, all right, look, I'll try it. Based on what I'm seeing, it looks and sounds amazing, but until I try it myself, will I actually be able to say that I like it? Because we both have a big bullshit meter too.
I'll tell you something interesting
Mhm,
because Harold, who is my chat GPT, yes, I
mhm.
have named him. Actually, my husband named him. Harold, I had Harold put together a meal plan for me. You know, Harold, I'm trying to stay healthy through the holidays. And he said, he added in Bella Grace products, you know, the elixir
Yeah,
and the melts.
yeah,
He said, because they fit in with your healthy lifestyle and your healing equation podcast and brand, he said, and they have all the natural ingredients because he will go out on the internet and search it
yep,
and
yep,
see, oh, I would be cautionary,
mhm,
because of this, and this. Like that's how much you can train your chat GPT.
right, right.
And Harold actually put it in my daily routine
Love it.
because it's so good for you.
Love it. And that's the thing. It's like, okay, Google, but using ChatGPT, it's a I mean, it's so smart. It's not going to give you bullshit stuff just because you said I've tried to use this. It's going to say, no, there's some red flags in there if there really is. And
Well,
another, we have to bring up really quick because you taught me something about the natural restorative sleep gummies that
oh,
Bella
yes.
Grace came out with. So
Yes.
being postmenopausal, and even during menopause, like the 3 a.m. wake up and then, I can't fall asleep. My mind is going 800 miles an hour, like had such sleep issues. But once they launch this natural sleep gummy, I'm sleeping like a baby. I feel like
Like
a million
incredible.
incredible. But
In-
what did you find that you taught
so
me?
I have had a little secret because I can, just like anybody who might be in menopause or in, whatever state, if you're somebody who has always had high anxiety,
Mhm.
I don't want to take my doctor's like, oh, I can prescribe you. And I'm like, no, 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 I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I decided that I was going to try to eat a half a gummy. And
During the day.
during the day,
Yep.
during
Mhm.
the day, because I will eat two of the gummies at night.
Yep.
That's what helps me.
Mhm.
And I don't wake up groggy. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try to just take like a bite of one of these gummies and see how that works. And it flipping got rid of my anxiety. And I think because it has ashwagandha in it,
Yep.
the ashwagandha just relaxes you and it just like allows me to go along with my day. And I remember telling you that, and you're like,
Yep.
really?
Right. Yes. I'm like, that's a game changer. I didn't even think about that.
Hmm.
I had not thought about that. I only used it for sleep. So yes,
Yeah.
now I tell customers.
If you're having, anxiety during the day, and we all have those days where like,
Right,
oh my gosh, I drank too much
especially the
coffee.
holiday season. You kidding? I wanna be popping that shit for the holidays if I
I'm
gotta deal with
telling you,
family.
just a bite of it, it really does just calm your nervous system down, and it allows you, it's like just almost like regulating you.
Yeah, yeah, so that you can be present and happy and not be
Yeah,
in your head about anything that's making you
exactly.
feel that uncomfortableness. No, so thank you for sharing that. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. And, these are all things like when I'm not saying you have to go full on like some of the people that I was following in the beginning of my cancer journey. It's like full on vegan and full on juicing and this and that. And there's actually a documentary out where there was an influencer online and she was deceiving people that she was a cancer survivor, yada yada yada. But the
Yeah,
one girl who was actually fighting cancer did the whole coffee enema, um the juicing, and she wouldn't eat anything unless it was organic. And it's a really difficult lifestyle. You're going to stress yourself out
right.
so much more worrying about that. And I just tell people, do what's best for you. But what worked for me was the 80-20.
Yeah,
80% of the time, you're worrying about what you eat. And it's not even worrying, it's making it a lifestyle.
mhm,
I
mhm.
mean, am I going to sit at my desk, and we were talking about this? Should I be drinking this? Absolutely not. I don't, I tried to cut dairy creamer out. So
Mhm.
I will only have one cup of black coffee in the morning because I hate black coffee, but I like coffee.
Mhm.
Should I be drinking this? The worst thing that you could possibly drink, which is a Maxwell House International Cafe Francais powder with sugar in it? Absolutely not. But
But
it's a treat today, and it is 80/20.
yep, absolutely, absolutely. Well, and that's the thing, you're just still enjoying it. And, when you showed me that cup, like, I remember when I was younger, that glass mug
Oh,
and
yeah.
the international cafe and
Right, which, like,
stirring
is the
it.
epitome of class.
Yes, like that in Days of Our Lives. Like, I thought I was going to live in those moments and have,
Mhm.
like, the alcohol tray, the glass
Yeah.
alcohol
Oh,
tray,
yeah.
right? Like, those were little
Yep.
pockets of what I thought luxury was in
Right.
class, and yeah, so
Back in the
and I
'80s,
think
this was the
yes.
epitome of luxury if you had
Mhm,
these
mhm.
international coffees, and
Yeah,
they taste good.
yeah.
It's still got a little caffeine, and it's actually no dairy.
Oh, really?
So it's like non-dairy creamery kinda
Yeah, yep.
stuff in it, so I can drink it because
I
it
love
doesn't mess with you know, my system, if you
Yep.
will.
I the system. I get it. No,
Just
I
keep
love that. That's
running.
the thing is we gotta treat ourselves every once in a while,
You have to.
right? I
You
was having
have
a
to.
conversation with my oldest daughter the other day, and I drink 2 cups of black coffee in the morning. So, and for those that know me know that I have a Keurig next to the bed, so I have my coffee in bed. But anyway, I'll also have an afternoon cup of coffee, and that's where I put creamer in. And I use the coffee make. I don't like just regular milk, so I like it flavored. And that's when I use my sugar-free creamer, but I know that's bad, but I was saying to her that, "Oh, it's the season of Baileys and whipped cream."
Right.
I'm like, "That's what I'm gonna be adding."
Oh, heck yeah.
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 And
Yeah.
she's like, "You kidding? If I have Bailey," she's like, "I'll be drinking that all damn day."
Right. You know what's funny is after chemo, certain things gross you out and then you can never use them again. And anybody
Really?
who's been through chemo or anything like that can attest to this. Like there were some things that you might have had during chemo that you could never use again, which for me is a fragrance by Nest. I don't know if you've ever seen the Nest fragrances.
No.
It's not like an expensive fragrance or anything, but somebody gave it to me and I used it while I was on chemo and now I can never smell it again.
Really?
Oh, never again. Never again. And there was a coffee creamer that I used, Chobani sweet cream. It's in the purple container. And recently I bought some. I bought 2 containers of it and they were both curdled. And
Ugh.
when I poured it and it was like chunky. And so now I am so grossed out by any type of creamer that I had to go cold turkey and it forced me to, and I'm like, well, maybe that was God's sign to say, stop
Right.
drinking
Stop,
coffee creamer
right.
and just go to black coffee. So that's
Yeah.
really how I ended up with black coffee.
It's so funny because I can't, not that I can't, but I don't like cream in my coffee in the morning. I can't do
Hmm,
that anymore, and I used to. I used to drink it with cream and sugar. I eliminated the sugar, and, that was a big thing for me, but, it has to be black in the morning.
interesting.
I
It's
know.
good for intermittent fasting if you like to intermittent fast.
Yeah, yep, and that's the thing, that's what I do is I try to, I don't eat breakfast, I have my black coffee, I have my Bella Melt, and then and I also add Bella Trim, and then I'll have a healthy lunch, I'll have a Bella Melt in the afternoon, healthy dinner, Cabernet.
Okay.
Coffee, water, 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 water,
Cabernet.
coffee, Cabernet. Rinse and repeat, that's my
80/20. 80/20.
80/20, yep,
Or,
80.
90/10 in your case.
I mean, it's, everyone just do you. But the whole
That's it.
point of you sharing your journey is to show others what worked for you and,
Mhm.
you know, different products that you use. Cause I know that we spoke about, and you're going to share specific products that you use that helped you, that, whether it's even like lashes, like clothes that
Yes.
made you feel good, like everything. There's so much to this healing equation to help others feel good in the body that they're
And it's moving your body every day, you know? Not every day when you're going through it do you feel like moving your body, but my husband was just amazed. He has pictures of me on the Peloton bike. Did I want to get on a Peloton bike after going through chemo? Hell no. But you know what? I knew how important it was.
yeah,
And it was winter, so it was like not even an option to go outside because it was freezing. So I would get on the bike and it was 30 minutes. And if that day I all I could do was do a slow pedal, I was moving my body. And people don't realize that, you know, 30 minutes of an outside walk, and that's the thing too, is being outside in the sunlight. Being outside for a 30-minute walk, if you can do it 5 days a week, that's great. Is it lowers your cancer risk like automatically, like 30%,
oh,
because it's the exercise, you're moving your body.
yeah,
You know, a body in motion stays in motion. A body at rest really just dies,
you
you
know,
know?
that hits me because I am so guilty of not. I'm so guilty of not taking that time. I get up, I go into work mode, and then I'm home. And that's really awful. But I recognize that I need to make those changes. I do. And
And even if it's just a walk,
yeah.
you know, a walk outside. I know it's becoming winter, so it
Mhm,
sucks to be outside.
mhm.
But you know, just a walk or if you can do a simple yoga, Pilates, 25 minutes, 30 minutes a day, move your body because, you know, after surgery and everything, I was killing myself thinking, you know, because when you go through chemo and radiation and all the drugs and all the shit that they give you, I put my face was like this, you know, you put on weight, everybody does.
Yeah.
And I was trying to kill myself to get it off and I just couldn't. And it was once I stopped being so obsessive about it, where I just went into the 80-20 rule and I gave myself permission to do lighter things because I was trying to lift weights like I used to. And then I started Pilates.
Okay.
Let me tell you, it changed my entire life. I am more fit. My body is more fit.
Wow.
And not to say Pilates is easy, it's not, but being on the reformer and stretching out because I had cording underneath my arm. Anybody who's a cancer survivor and had surgery knows this. It's like a cord that forms under your arm to it's scar tissue.
Okay. Yeah.
And you have to really stretch out. And Pilates from doing, you know, on the reformer with the
Yeah.
strength, it was unbelievable. I cannot believe the range of motion that I have now from Pilates is incredible. It's probably better than before I had surgery. So you have to find what works for you.
Yeah.
You know, Pilates isn't going to work for everybody. Yoga is not going to work for everybody. Walking outside isn't going to work for you. Find what works for you and be consistent because and that's everybody's problem is consistency, right? It's hard to be consistent. We live busy lives,
Yeah.
but you have to take that time for you because it's your life. If it's your health is most important than anything else in your life. That's the most important thing. Because if you don't have your health, then you don't have anything else. You know, you're miserable. Even with mental health, you know, a
Yeah.
big part of being a cancer survivor is your mental health, right?
Yeah.
The fear, the worry, the, oh my gosh, you know, this is happening. You don't feel good about yourself. Your body is different. You have to take care of your mental health
Mhm.
and exercise will do that. Eating right will do that. You know, all the foods, the shitty foods that we eat, all the processed foods, the McDonald's, the Chick-fil-A, they have so many chemicals in them that they are giving I mean it's scientific that all the crap they put in those foods contributes to your mental health.
Yeah.
You know, it brings you down. It just wrecks your body and wrecks your mental health. And the minute you start eating clean, and anybody who's been overweight or have had any issues and they start eating clean, it's like this mental clarity. And that's why I like intermittent fasting too, because you do get that mental clarity. In the beginning, you're probably a little tired,
Mhm.
you're
Mhm.
going through withdrawals from sugars or whatever,
Yep.
but it does give you that mental clarity. And again, I'm not saying intermittent fasting is for everybody, but it worked for me.
Right, right. I love that. I love how you are sharing what works for you. I love that the passion that you have and you coming out with this book and this podcast so that you can help others that, have struggled with their healing, no matter what it is, whether it's, health or wealth or mindset or anything. That's
Mhm.
really what all of it is,
It's
right?
interesting you say wealth because all of this it's attributed to even the state of your mental health. When you're somebody who is you're one of those people who you can amass wealth and then it's gone. And then I know people like this in my life. They're all of a sudden they have this great wealth and then they spend it all. And then they have it and they spend, and that's a mental health thing because you're feeling like when you get it, you're not worthy of it. And
Mhm,
so it's gone.
mhm.
You have to really get in a good place in your mind. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's just woo woo stuff, manifesting this and that. It really isn't. I mean, it's scientific. There
Yep,
are neuroscientists that are attributing all of these things to the state of your mind. You're
yep,
you're literally you're calling in. Your brain doesn't know the difference between when your eyes are closed and you're visualizing something than when your eyes are open and you're seeing it in person. It literally thinks it's the same thing.
yeah.
And neuroscientists have proven this.
Exactly, exactly.
So why not feed your brain good things?
Mhm,
Why not feed your brain good food? And I'll talk about that in a second because there's one thing that is so great for your brain.
mhm.
Why not give your brain great thoughts,
Yeah,
visualize amazing things. Your whole life will change. Even just saying thank you in the morning for thank you for this beautiful day, even if it's sucky outside and it's
right.
raining, you're alive. Thank you, God.
Yep, yep. And one of the things too, as far as having your brain listen, because it's this whole center, right? And is that future life script that I scream about to everyone. I listen to my manifested world life that I know I am going to be living. My brain doesn't know that it's not happening, right? That it's not here yet. But when I listen to this every day, this part of my miracle morning, and I'm like, this is the life of abundance that I get to lead and get to do. And when I hear that, I'm like, oh my God, it fuels you for sure. And it does help with our mental clarity.
I don't know where it is. I want to find it, but so I love, the vision board. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't use a board. I use a book.
Hmm.
And 3 years ago, maybe, I put something in my vision book, and I make one every year, and
Yeah.
then I put it away. So I hadn't seen it in 3 years, and you know that we're kind of back and forth now between Massachusetts and Florida,
Hmm.
and we just bought a house. And I went back into my book 3 years ago. Do you know it's the exact literally the exact home that I had in my vision book. And I had another one that was, not my style, but I'm like, "Oh, I'll put this in here." It's probably the kinds of homes they had down here. That literal exact house we were choosing between those 2.
Wow.
Talk about how crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I love vision boards. I love vision boards. I never did a book, but I have a vision board that I can see. I and then I also do a digital version that I have as the background on my phone and I have on the background on my computer, so I look at it every single day.
If people get, like, "Oh, that shit doesn't work, yada, yada, yada." There's a book that I want there are 2 books. You gave me one of them that I read recently, 3 Feet from Gold.
Yep.
Love that
Yep.
book.
Mm.
But one I read many, many, many years ago called The Biology of Belief. And it is a biologist, literal scientists who took cells from a body and they moved them in all areas of the country, right? And when that person reacted, the cells that were taken from them reacted, right? When they believed in something, those cells reacted. So they've studied how your nervous system, your brain, and your body reacts when you believe in something, when you have a positive attitude, or when you're upset. It's just like the theory of the ice water, right? If you look at water under a microscope, two comparable, they look the same, and then you put them in separate sections and you know, gratitude, I love you, you're
Mhm.
the thank you so much for nourishing me, and
Mhm.
you look at it under a microscope and they make this beautiful snowflake.
Wow.
And then when you look at the other one, where they've done this with plants too, when you talk miserably to it and you're, berating it, and then it becomes very, disoriented, and it's not a pretty snowflake. It's all like all over the place and crazy.
Yeah.
So everything responds, all the cells in your body. And I want to tell everybody how much Renee has helped me. I used to have
Mm.
I went to school for musical theater, and that I used to be a singer.
Yep.
And
Phenomenal voice, by the way, people.
I haven't sang in forever, but she renewed my spirit in music because she taught me how to make my healing equation theme song come to life. And so now I'm obsessed, and I'm making music for everything, for manifesting. And I actually created one called The Biology of Belief. But if anybody's interested in the healing equation theme song, it is now live on Spotify. So,
I love that. Yes. I love it. I love it. Oh my God. I'm so incredibly proud of you.
oh,
Like I said, I fucking love you. I'm so thrilled that you are on this path. You are glowing. Like it totally, everything you speak about, based on the glow that you have, that this is the purpose. This is why you're here. This is your
yeah.
mission.
Yeah. I've really been enjoying life the last 6 years, believe it or
Good.
not.
Good, good, good. Well, the best is yet to come, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Best is yet to come. So, I'm so thankful that you came on and shared your journey with everyone. You're very inspirational. I want everyone to go follow Melissa on social media. Where can they find you and how can they connect with you?
On Instagram, you can find me at the Healing Equation Podcast. You can find me on TikTok with the same name, the Healing Equation Podcast. You can find on Spotify, you can find the song. And on YouTube, you can watch some of the podcasts that will be coming out in January. And that's also the Healing Equation as well
Fantastic. And where will they be able to listen to the new podcast?
on Spotify.
Fantastic. So, everyone, please go give Melissa some love. If you love this episode, please be sure to share this with somebody that would resonate from Melissa's journey. Totally appreciate you all for listening. Thank you, Melissa, for your time and for sharing.
Thank you, Renee.
Everyone, stay tuned for the next Unapologetically Badass podcast and have a great rest of your day. Well, that's a wrap for today, Queen. But don't just walk away inspired, walk away activated. If this episode lit a fire under your fabulous ass, hit that follow button, leave a review, and share it with your fiercest ride or die. Your support helps this podcast reach even more women who are ready to reclaim their power. And hey, if you're ready to look, feel, and earn like $1 million freaking bucks, I've got an entire badass empire waiting for you. From confidence boosting merch to brand strategy, coaching, collagen content, and everything in between, head on over to reneecarbonefleming.com or tap the link in the show notes. Pick your flavor of badass and let's turn midlife into your power era. Stay bold, stay unapologetic, and wear the damn crown.